StormTV, joined by General Manager Ryan Finnerty. Ryan, first time we've had a proper chance to catch up so far this season. How was the summer?
It was good. Yeah, a little different. Obviously, a lot more change we've had in the past with Ginner moving on and Flags coming in, and resettling and settling in a new coach. And but it's been good. Last season we put a lot of good stuff in place to set us up for this year. Whether it's the housing, we've got the housing we keep year round now. We don't, we found some really good spots in Altrincham for the guys. They can stay close to the rink, and I think it makes a big difference. I think we noticed that last year.
It's a big area, obviously, going into every summer is recruitment, and we've managed to bring some really capable players in, and one or two that have joined after the start of the season. What can you tell us about that process?
Yeah, obviously this year was nice because we had such a good retention from guys last year. Loved our group last year. We lost a couple guys. For us, it for whatever reason, it's not by design, but we seem to pick up guys in September. Last year was Joe and Murph. This year was Dow and Martin. And we're not afraid to do that. I think that's something that I stress to Flags that we're never going to settle on guys. And if we're not happy with the players we're looking at, we're patient, and we know that it's a long season, and you can make some changes in those time frames. Sometimes some guys just fall through the cracks for whatever reason, and we always want to make sure that we have an opportunity or financially positioned to make offers, and competitive offers.
You touched on retention of players there, and I think one of the big key differences this year was how many we kept. Is that an indication of the direction that the club's moving in, and why do you feel that guys are choosing to stay in Manchester instead of making that next move?
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think that we treat them properly here. We make this environment the best we can. Obviously, we've got one of probably the greatest city backing us in Manchester, and everything that comes with that. But guys come here, they buy into what we're trying to do. They understand that we got just under 2,500 spectators a night, and we're going up some competition that have 3-4 times as many as that. So they understand what we're working with, but at the same time, we use that as motivation, not a crutch. And I think the team last year kind of started us on a really good path, and bringing the core group back to filter down into this dressing room under Flags' leadership. I think once we get healthy, I think we haven't had a chance to see our full team just yet. We've been hit pretty hard by the injury bug, but I feel pretty confident in the group guys we have down there.
So you start pre-season, win against Sheffield, and then moving in. It was quite nice to see some foreign teams. We had University of Quebec Trois-Rivières, and also the German guys from the Delta. How is that different in terms of the preparation as opposed to playing Coventry and Guildford as we've seen in previous seasons? And is there scope for Manchester to go abroad in the future?
Yeah, I think last year, we wanted to do it last season, but we started so late. But there's no way we could have brought in any Euro teams because we didn't start till mid-September. This year, the work to get those guys in starts now for next season. Believe it or not, it's to put all the stuff in place and get teams over here, especially Canadian teams, the Germans and all that. You got to start kind of going after that now. I think for our fan base, it's good, to see different teams. They get a lot of the same, we play a lot of hockey here. So I think for our fans, that we do it more, predominantly for them. I love the fact that our guys can play 4 games in 2 weeks here and get used to the rink in Altrincham here, and the size of the ice is a little different, obviously, from what guys are used to. And then, just obviously from a financial aspect, it's great to have the home games. We had fantastic support. It's a lot to come back to the rink back to back, but we had good crowds all the way through, and definitely something we're looking at. And then as far as going abroad, we're open to doing that as well. Ideally, we want somebody to treat us as well as we're treating these guys, and but it is definitely something we are looking at, is possibly maybe going abroad maybe for a week and then coming back and playing a week here. But again, it's right now there's just a lot of conversations in a lot of different countries.
So the start of the season, I think everybody would put it as it's been a bit of a mixed bag. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think the guys have done a good job. I don't think I've ever seen the injury list like this. At one point we had our whole leadership team in the box watching us play, and we got 4 guys sitting out right now, 4 forwards sitting out right now with injuries, and it's one of those things where you never want to go through it. Every team will experience it to a degree. It's been tough, it's tough, but it's also been, there's also a lot of positives. We're able to use more of our academy kids. We're able to use more of our young kids that have stepped up and played great. They're getting huge minutes right now, which will be valuable for us down the road. And, well, eventually these guys will come in the lineup and we'll hit a patch where Flags has some decisions, obviously carrying 2 spares right now, but we're short 2 players going into this weekend, and you think it can't last forever, hopefully, knock on wood. But yeah, it's been frustrating, but at the same time, there's been a lot of positives that have come out of it. Seeing the kids get out there, the kids from our academy it's pretty cool. We made that commitment in 2017, and we're kind of just starting to see the first batch of those kids coming through now, and they've done an incredible job, and obviously gets more ice time for Connor and Miltz and Griff and everything like that. So there are positives to it, but we are certainly hoping that this is kind of our rough patch. We get through it. We haven't really seen our full team just yet.
So just a question that the fans will want to be asking, and I've seen it on places like the forum and social media. Obviously, the guys that are injured, can you give us any updates on them?
Yeah, I mean, Kirch and Johnny got hurt in the Cardiff games. We're hopeful. Johnny's back next week. Robert's probably just got a lower body injury, maybe a week, 2 weeks max. Martin got hurt in practice, got hit with a puck on his finger. Just found out on Tuesday he doesn't need surgery, so we're hoping we can fast track him back. But he's got a pretty banged up finger. So, and then Kirch, we're probably a week, 10 days away, hopefully, from seeing him back. So everybody is en route to coming back. We don't have any real long-term injuries at this point, but we're desperate, obviously desperate. Every team's desperate to get their captain back. Steve-O, he's only played a handful of games. He's had a rough start, but the games that he has, you see the impact he can have. And then I think Martin was just settling in, and Robert's just kind of been a diamond in the rough that we found, and he's a good compliment on wherever he plays. So we're excited about our team. Like, we're excited about the group we have. We on our back end, we obviously we're leaking some goals, and that's not team defense, or that's not defense. It's team defense, and I think that happens. It takes a while to kind of learn how to play. It takes a while to learn how to play here. It takes a while to learn how to play a new system under a coach, and you're going to go through growing pains. But I do like the resilience of this group right now that we're seeing.
So on to something following on from this week. We've seen Sheffield progress in the Champions Hockey League. How big of an achievement is that for not just the Sheffield Steelers, but the entire Elite League?
Yeah, I think when you look at it, obviously been a part of it and been fortunate to coach in that years and years ago. And when we had a team in Glasgow when we entered the Champions League, and we played well. We won. We beat the German team. But the thing now is you're looking at this. Sheffield are taking it to these teams. They're not getting great goaltending and getting outshot 60-14 and winning 2-1. They're competing. They're outplaying these teams, whether it's at home and on the road. And that just shows how strong our league has come. And we're at an interesting point where, there are feeder leagues like Norway and Denmark. We're now so far above them. There's good teams in all those leagues. There's a good, couple good teams in France. But when you look at 1 to 10 in our league, there's no other what if you class a AA league that's even close to us right now. So the jump right now is Austria potentially, but we're closing in on Austria. We're starting to pay good money. So we're in a bit of the UK's in a bit of a weird spot because we're no longer really a league where you want to see guys springboard into the DEL. We're not a league where we want to lose guys to the Austrian league. We don't want to lose guys to the Slovakian league. I think you're starting to see that there's good players coming here. They're a lot younger. Guys can come here, make pretty good money. The teams are well run. Obviously, the fan support is second to none. And it's a place that the guys don't want to leave. So it's not a place that you're going to go to for 1 year and, somewhere in Denmark and try to get into the Allsvenskan. That's really, the league isn't doing that much anymore. I think teams, the guys from those leagues are coming here, are trying to get into our league now. And I think it's just, a credit to the fan base first and foremost throughout the 10 teams. We continue to see it rise and rise. Obviously, when that goes up, the money goes up, and I think we're starting to see the fruition of that. So it is a bit of a weird spot where the UK is now becoming a a league where people are trying to get into and not leave.
So turning our attentions back to Manchester, you talked about the growth, and our aim is to make sure that we're competitive with those teams, and you're talking about them teams taking it to some of the best in Europe. What are the expectations for the Manchester Storm this season?
Well, you never want to go backwards. I think every team's gone up. We're spending more money than we've ever spent, and I don't know if we're any closer to the top. But it's a competitive league, and you look at the Carves, Belfast, Glasgow, Sheffield. I mean, the thing that, going back to what I talked about, is that from 1 to 10, I'd hate to be betting on who's going to win every night, because every team competes in this league. Whether you're Manchester, Dundee, Fife, or Sheffield, Belfast, Cardiff, every team can be beat on any given night. Doesn't matter if you're on the road or at home. So that's what makes us. I think that's what really separates us from Norway and Denmark. There's games that you just never lose over there. Rarely could ever lose. Those teams that finish with 3-4 wins. We've gone away from that, and I think, for us, we finished 4th last year. We want to continue pushing on. We want to push it on to playoffs. We want to kind of get to areas that we haven't been before. But it's a long season. It's a long grind for these guys. We play a lot of hockey, and right now we're kind of focused on our next game, focused on getting guys back, getting healthy. We want to have a real good look at the group that we brought in. We haven't had that opportunity yet, but we think we're probably a week to 2 weeks away from hopefully seeing that.
You talked about as well the attendance is rising and the importance of them to the league. The club have announced that they're introducing a half-season ticket. Can you tell us a bit more information about that?
Yeah, I think what we're noticing is that times are not getting any easier for anyone. Costs are spiraling through the roof for individuals, for businesses. We're feeling it on every front here. And the focus of hockey has always been an affordable, family-friendly sport. And we don't want to, as we have to kind of meet our financial demands, we're very conscious of making sure that our fan base aren't being taking the brunt of it. So we're always looking at ways to make it more affordable. We've had a huge uplift in our season tickets, and now we're getting a lot of people that have potentially come to their first 2 or 3 games and are now asking, about the savings. I think we have one of the most affordable season tickets in the league, and I think what we're seeing now is we're getting a lot of people that are kind of going, well, individually, if I paid for all these games and I want to come to all the games, it's going to cost X. Is there any way that we could offset that? So what we're rolling out is a half season ticket with really good savings. And we're going to split it over 2 payments to make it affordable for people. Obviously, it won't be as attractive as a full season ticket, but it certainly is going to save some people some pretty serious money. And we want to reward those that are going to continuously come back and support us. And like I said, I think hockey, when you come here, you either love it or you hate it. I don't think there's any in between. I've always said that when you walk into the shelter, you're either right into it or it's just not for you. And I think we're seeing a lot of people have come maybe for their first 2-3 games. They're kind of going, yeah, I want to be a part of this every weekend, and we want to make that more affordable for them.
Yeah, well, appreciate your time, Ryan.
All right, thank you.